Okay, I think we got everything just about set up. You got the cards, we got the dice. I think we're ready to go.
I think we're good to go.
Is my mic on? Oh, wow, we are
still recording.
every time.
We
It's almost like it's the name of the show or something.
It's almost like it's on purpose. Well, welcome back, everybody, to Are We Still Recording? A podcast about a podcast most of the time.
Most of the time.
But this time we're doing a side quest.
We are doing a side quest today.
Yeah.
I'm Jordyn.
And I'm Lyndsey, and I forgot to introduce myself.
That's okay. We are doing another random character roll. Yes.
I'm so excited. You can't see me punching the air with excitement.
I can, though, and I can confirm that is what she's doing.
This is an audio-only media. So you're just going to have to believe us.
Yeah. So I've got the table out.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed doing Roland last time.
He was like such a beautifully heartbreaking story. So if you guys haven't checked that one out, please do. Because like getting to put that character and his story together was 10 out of 10. Fantastic drive time.
It was.
Heartbreaking. I cried. Tears were shed.
It's true.
Yeah. So
it's true.
It's worth it.
It is. I love making characters, and I think he's such a great, such a multifaceted, like, bad guy, because he's not necessarily a big bad evil guy, but he can be.
Yeah, like, you could use him as a baddie in a campaign, but, like, he's a bad sad boy. He's a sad bad boy.
He is both of those things.
He's both of those things, and sometimes, you know, grief can drive you to do insane things.
It's true. It's true.
Concoct wild potions. Go nuts, Roland. We love you.
I don't think we have any updates at the moment. We are currently waiting for our D&D sessions to be released on here as well. And once that is done, our kind of follow-ups to that will be coming out as well. So in the meantime, we're doing some of this filler content, but I love it. So
everything is content. Content is like, these are fun. This is so fun. Like, I love a side quest in any media whatsoever, and especially if I'm making the media myself.
Yes. So hopefully this is a good drive time for you guys, or listening while you're at work, whatever it might be.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for coming along.
Yeah. I will say, though, like, I really hope we don't, like, it'll be fun. It's always good storytelling, but, like, another evil character, like, there's always a chance that we're going to be making just, like, a lot of evil.
A lot of BBEGs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. Is there anything else? Like, I don't want to do repeats either. So I think, like, maybe if we roll a repeat, do we just want to roll again?
Yes. I think that's actually a really good idea.
And maybe not necessarily for everything, but maybe, like, the big points.
Yeah. Like, if we're not going to do another chaotic evil alchemist orc.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine.
I agree.
We can redo those bits.
I agree. I think, like, if some parts are the same, then the other parts will just reroll.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
As always, guys, be sure to like and comment on this video. Ring the bell if you want to be notified when we upload new content and new videos. If you're caught up on everything here, we do have some shorts from some games we've played in the past, which we definitely need to play more Lethal Company.
We do really need to play. That's not something that, like, I would ever, like, ask for, because Lethal Company spikes my blood pressure like nothing else on this planet. Like, I have had to be like, oh, there have been nights where we've been playing.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, guys, I'm really tired. I've got to go to bed. When in all reality, my adrenaline is just so high that I'm shaking, and I'm like, I have to
put
stop.
It down.
I have to stop before I, like, throw a clot or something.
That's fair. I don't want you to throw a clot, so I think that makes sense. That's good.
But Lethal Company's fun if you're into that kind of stuff.
Which I am.
Yes.
What? I can't even remember what were we playing anything before Lethal Company, or was Lethal Company our first, like...
Lethal Company was the first thing that at least I also got in on. Like, there's some Valheim, which I think would also be a fun, like, clip game to do.
There was a little Valheim. The hard part about Valheim is if people, like, are like, I want to go work on the server, and then they can go work on it, and then you hop in and you're like, everything's different.
Where did you put my house?
Or at least there's no, like, permanence with
exactly
Lethal Company, so that's nice.
Yeah, there's no that's true.
We did do a little bit of Planet Crafter, but very little.
That would be very nice.
I know, I really liked
that's
Crafter.
Planet Crafter is such a cozy game.
It is. It is a very cozy
man.
game.
I'm getting the itch.
Yep, I know. I thought about it when we finished our game. Chris and I finished Grounded, and we finished A Way Out because it's a really short game. And I was like, well, we could go back and play some Planet Crafter. There is a new moon, but he hasn't even finished the original content yet.
I haven't either. So
Sure.
like we're still. Sure. I just got to blue skies and rain.
That's beautiful.
If that's a spoiler, we should cut it out.
I don't think so. I think blue sky is the first thing you go for.
That's true.
And then it rains in blue sky. So I don't think that's
okay.
I think you're good.
Sorry, everyone, if you didn't know that the goal was to turn the sky blue.
That's true.
I apologize.
I'll bleep it out. It'll be a long Nova meow. I'm kidding. I'm
not
All right. Well, let's get into the rolling, guys. So the first thing we're rolling for is age. And it's just me rolling this time, guys. So we're rolling a D6 for age. Oh, I rolled a 6. Older than 80.
Oh my
God. Got an Olden.
Older than 80. So greater than 80 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Just another old boy.
Another old boy.
Let's do it.
I'm excited though. Okay. So now we're rolling another D6 for species because we're going to go for 2024 rules other than the fact that we're using classes and subclasses that are in 2024. But anyway, we're doing that. So D6 to see which table I'm rolling on. I rolled a 5. So I'm on the rare table.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so the rare table is a D12. As
that
a journey.
Was wild.
A fairy. Okay. Do fairies get old?
I think that's a good question. I think that we got.
I guess we're just gonna say old for a fairy.
Yeah. Old.
A fairy.
An old fairy. Okay.
I have no idea where this is going. Okay, I love it.
Old fairy.
Okay, so next we're rolling for class. 15 to 20 is a reroll. An 8. A monk. I have so many questions about what's happening with this character. Okay, so going over to monk, a D6 for the subclass. 6, a shadow monk. A way of the shadow monk.
Ma'am, are you okay? I don't know enough about a shadow monk to really like.
So, do you want me to pause and grab the book?
Yes.
Pausing.
Okay. So after a quick background check, fairies can live to be a century old.
So we got a grandma or grandpa fairy. I guess we haven't decided.
Grandma or grandpa. Just a olden.
Old fairy. Okay, so looking up monk, way of the shadow, because I'm pretty sure that is in the.
Yeah, a century is 100 years, right? So.
Yeah, I don't know why I had to say a century instead of just saying.
No, that's okay.
Okay,
but they don't reach maturity until 40 years old, after which time are ageless within the Feywild. So there's like 4 different things on like just the. So
it looks like an adult fairy, not actually grandma fairy. It's going to be a grandma or grandpa fairy.
It's going to be a grandma. It's fine. Or grandpa. It's fine.
Sorry. Can't be undone. Okay. Warrior of Shadow. Harness shadow power for stealth and subterfuge, which actually kind of works for a fairy.
They're already very small and very sneaky.
And so yeah, and like subterfuge is like what
like
the Fae do.
Trouble.
Exactly.
Okay.
Warriors of Shadow practice stealth and subterfuge, harnessing the power of the Shadowfell. Okay, that part's a little off, but dark grandpa fairy.
It's our fairy monk, and we can do what we want to.
We sure can. Maybe they were touched. Maybe they're in a part of the Feywild that gets that has like a thin wall.
Yeah, because like they're very close to each other, right?
I think so. I think they're just. I mean, because isn't it material plane, Feywild, and Shadow Realm are all like parallel?
I thought it was more of a material plane being like the bottom of the. Well, I mean, I guess that's still parallel, but like bottom of the triangle, and then the Feywild and the Shadowfell are like
here. I'll look and see.
Once again, if I could draw this in a chart,
like a Venn diagram. Is that what you're going for? Is like
it's a Venn diagram, and the material plane is a different Venn diagram that touches those two, but does not overlap.
Okay, that's what I thought too. But it says they are at home in darkness, able to draw gloom around themselves to hide, leap from shadow to shadow, and take on a wraith-like form.
Okay. If I may.
Please.
You said touched by the Shadowfell.
Yeah.
And I said her grandkids moved to the Shadowfell. So, but we don't have to go with that one. That was just, that first thought isn't always best thought. But it's just like, her kids visit her all the time, and her grandkids visit her all the time from the Shadowfell. And just like, she's like...
They go to college in the Shadowfell.
They go to college in the Shadowfell. And like, she's not familiar with it, but she's trying to be hip. So she can like...
Oh my God. Hip grandma.
Hip monk grandma.
Hip monk grandma coming in. Oh my God. Okay, I'm here for it. I'm trying to see if in the back, if they have any sort of like... Oh, yeah, they do. Okay, so in the back, wow, great. Page 345, if you have the 2024 book, there's the interplay. So it's Feywild, Material Plane, and then Shadowfell is actually beneath it. But I wonder if there could be like, there's going to be like a black hole portal, wormhole portal between the two. So that's fine. I love it. You can
travel between the two.
I love it. Okay, great. So next is the alignment. So I'm rolling a D10 for the alignment. 10 is a reroll. 7, chaotic good.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is. Oh my God, I'm loving it. Okay, great.
Oh my God. This pen is doing its best to die.
I can get another pen.
It's okay. It's fine.
Well, if it's not working.
I may not work. You can read that.
My 30, almost 5-year-old eyes can't read that.
Fairy is really nice and bold.
Okay, now we're rolling for background.
BG.
It's a D20. A 5. Entertainer.
Yes, she is.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm just going to look that up real quick.
Give me a synopsis.
Yep. Entertainer. Okay, so their ability scores, if you want to write this down, there are strength, dexterity, and charisma are the 3 that we can improve as entertainer.
Okie dokie.
They get the musician feat, which you don't necessarily have to write down, and then they get skill proficiencies with acrobatics and performance. You spend much of your youth following roving fairs and carnivals, performing odd jobs for musicians and acrobats in exchange for lessons. You may have learned how to walk a tightrope, how to play a lute in a distinct style, or how to recite poetry with impeccable diction. To this day, you thrive on applause and long for the stage.
No, old fairy ballerina, no.
Oh, I was even thinking like acrobat, like doing the, like if she can shadow step when she's like flying through the air.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Or like pretend like she's falling and then right as she's about to hit the ground.
It makes sense for a monk to be an entertainer.
Absolutely.
She's going to be a contortionist?
Oh no, I'm very inspired for my Hecna character.
Oh man. Okay, great. Okay. Okay, so motivation. Oh, Trixie's got the toy out. Sorry for the background noise. Motivation, D20 for success.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, queen.
Okay. I'm sorry if you guys can hear my dog playing in the background.
She's having a really good time.
I'm going to let it happen. So
yeah.
It is what it is. Flaws. We're going to roll twice on this one.
She doesn't have any.
14. Overconfidence.
Yes, she is.
And spoiled. Oh my God. I'm absolutely in love with this character already. Okay.
Oh my God. I'm thinking of like names and like Prima.
What is it?
Prima.
Oh, Okay, ideals.
Ideals.
We got 2 as well. Oh, that was a wild adventure as well. Understanding.
Okay.
She's a grandma. She's got to be. We don't actually know that she is, but.
No.
And friendship.
I love her with my entire heart. We've hit the exact opposite of Roland Steele.
We absolutely have. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to do vibe. I'm going to do color scheme, and we'll come back to archetypes so you've got time to get the book out.
Okay.
Vibe. If it's not sunny, it is.
We're re-rolling.
I got stormy.
Because she's spoiled.
Okay.
So maybe she gets a little bit like, I don't want to say temper tantrum-y.
Yeah.
But like, have you seen Encanto?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
like the aunt that's kind of like, her whole thing is weather.
Yeah.
And how like her moods are very like influx. And sometimes they can get a little stormy. And like,
I like that. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like it. And now we're going to do her color scheme, which is 2d12. Let's see what this color scheme is. Oh, that was a wild adventure. I hope you all heard that. 9. Gold.
Yes.
And red. Red and gold.
I love her. I love her so much.
Okay, and last before we roll stats, but certainly not least, is her archetype.
Archetype.
19. The Tear.
Okay.
I was really hoping it'd be the Queen, just because.
I mean, it is.
But is Tear versus Tear?
I don't know.
All right, let's find out.
I'm going to go to the table of contents. I'm sorry, guys.
Again, we're picking our archetype from the Wild Unknown Pocket Archetype Deck and Guidebook by Kim Kranz.
She's fantastic. I have to read all of these teeny tiny letters. I'm sorry. 212.
I'm going to grab out my dice in order to roll for stats, and we're going to do some.
When light, the tear is a melody of melancholy flowing through. So like, okay, so it is the tear.
Okay.
And then when dark, drama and murkiness.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Perfect for her.
So the tear is powerful, and it is possible to be subsumed in its waters. Find a supportive place to open the floodgates. And she needs friendship and understanding.
Oh my God.
If both the tear and the river appear in a reading, this indicates an excess of water element in your life. As in the Ayurvedic tradition, balance it with fire and earth. That's not important. But the tear is for the little bit bops are the release and the rain. So tears are droplets of letting go. Once they begin to fall, we allow the swelling tide of emotions to run its elemental course. Often the tear is what is needed in order for a conversation or situation to break into the next level of intimacy and vulnerability. So what I'm getting from this is like she, as an older fairy, like she's kind of accepted her kids moving out, and she's accepted her grandkids only coming to see her every now and then. And she's coming from a place of like healthy emotions and being able to let those emotions go. Yeah. In an effort to find understanding with herself and her kids and her grandkids. And that's just my hot take.
Oh my God. I love this character. This is why I love doing this so much.
Hearts all over the page.
Who would have ever guessed that we would have come up with this?
This is not something that I like.
Never.
No.
Never.
No. She's beautiful and random and pulled from the aether as just this little gold and red ball of light and friendship. This bitch.
I love her so much. Okay, the last thing we have to roll for are her stats.
Okie dokie.
So we're doing the 46, take the highest 3, and then we'll assign them however we want to.
Those dice are so pretty.
Thank you. That's a 15. Which dice do you like?
The clear ones.
Yeah, these have little flowers in them. Look.
Oh,
I roll these for Nymphraya. And I sometimes roll the purple one for Sylvie.
Yes.
Yeah. Here. Pause to look at cute dice.
I'm always going to pause to look at cute dice. These are precious. Oh my God.
And then these have skulls and moss in them.
We have the same dice.
That's right. It's the same company.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. 10.
Okay.
There are a lot of 3s and 2s there. 14. 17. Oh my God. Another 7. It was 6, 6, 5, 5. So another 17.
Okay.
One more. Oh, here it is. It's always got to go. Oh, 8. Still not even that bad.
Just intelligence. Intelligence is always...
Or strength, because she's a fairy monk.
That's true.
Anyway, we'll think about that.
We'll think about it.
Please, would you mind recapping for me what we have for our beautiful woman?
I would love to. So this character is over 80 years old. Her species is fairy. Her class is monk. Her subclass is shadow or
warrior. They're calling it warrior of shadow.
Warrior of shadow monk. Her alignment is chaotic good. Her background is entertainer. Her motivation is success. Her flaws are she is overconfident and spoiled. Her ideals are understanding and friendship. Her vibe is stormy. Her color scheme is gold and red, and her archetype is the tear.
Oh my God. I love her so much.
I want to make a little stuffed one and give it a hug.
I love her so much.
That's always my thing with my characters, though. It's like I want to stuff you and then hold you.
So here's my question. Do you want to give like first impressions and then pause and think about it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so give me your first impressions, and then we're going to stew on it for a bit. So we're going to divide this into 2 parts, team, so that we have time to like really process. Because like I, as much as I love making characters and making backstories, I can't rush a backstory. No. So I need to sit with it. So we're going to roll it. We're going to sit with it for a little bit, and then we'll come back and like kind of have things. But tell me your first thoughts.
Like any good cup of coffee, it has to percolate.
Perfect.
But like I said, first thoughts are very much like she is older, and so she's got a whole bunch of grandkids, a whole bunch of kids, like very much like she was the performer, and maybe her whole family, like she had a bunch of like little kids that were also performers, and so it's just like maybe it's a traveling fairy troupe of entertainers, and it's like a teeny tiny circus. So maybe like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids circus. You gotta get little to watch it.
It's like a flea circus, but it's fairies. How big are fairies actually supposed to be? Did you see in the thing?
Tiny. I think. Let me look. Let me check.
Like, are they like 2 feet tall? Because that's a big ass fairy. But like, you know, if you're playing D&D,
that's a scary fairy.
It's a scary fairy.
1 foot tall.
1 foot tall.
Okay.
I'm picking it up. We're holding our hands on the table to see exactly how big we think that a foot is.
Yeah, but like that's always going to be skewed, right?
Oh, for sure. But it's smaller than Dobby the house elf.
Smaller, yes. So like think the size of your average Nalgene water bottle.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Wait. Wow. She's gonna be a scary.
Yeah.
Like scary and like the oh my God, how long have you been there?
Like
sort of thing.
If something this small snuck up on me and kicked me in the back of the head,
yeah,
as hard as she could,
yeah,
I wouldn't know she was there.
Nope.
Because she can fly.
Yep.
So she doesn't even have to walk.
Nope.
She can just fly up and kick you in the back of the head.
Yep.
She's also a badass.
Wow.
Like,
yeah. Okay. So, talk to me. First impressions, first thoughts. What
definitely like, and she is maybe like circus. Your cool prima ballerina. Maybe not past her prime, but like the archetype of the prima ballerina who is older, and so she's very opulent and very cool, and always drinking a glass of wine. Like that's kind of the vibe that I see, but make it eccentric. So not like a poodle,
right? Because
that always gives me very like poodly vibes.
I was gonna say it actually makes me think of the main opera singer in Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
And there's literally a song called Prima Donna about her.
Exactly. But make it like a little bit eccentric. So a few more crystals. Put some crystals in there. Put some like really big glasses. The big round rim glasses with like maybe some like Art Deco filigree around them. But they make her eyes very big.
Oh my God, yes. Okay. Love it.
And that's what I've got so far. Like I've just got the shape of the thing.
That's okay. That's good.
But those are my first thoughts.
I don't even have there's a few thoughts that I have, which is why I need to sit and ponder it. Cause like, what if it's a male fairy.
Okay.
So what if we've got like an older male fairy? And I still like the traveling circus because I mean the entertainer, the chaotic good, the monk of the like shadow, I feel like just makes sense. Like maybe he's like an acrobat or a contortionist or something along those lines.
Okay.
And he's been with the circus for a very long time. Maybe when the traveling circus was like traveling around, maybe it went to an area where there was a wormhole or something to the Shadowfell, and that's how he got touched by Shadowfell.
Okay.
And so instead of, you know, maybe not so much the family thing, but like his goal is success, which is maybe he's like the head of the circus because he's older, he's been there for a while, he has like a whole acrobatic show, and he's like does this.
He's the main event.
He's the main event.
Yeah.
So maybe he does something like that. That's kind of like
he has
the
like
first
a little
idea.
ringmaster jacket.
Yeah.
That he like, it's like a tearaway ringmaster jacket, and it
Yeah.
says acrobatic suit.
Yeah. And you can imagine like that guy would be pretty stormy, even though he's very charismatic and chaotic good. Like he wants to spread like good and happiness and joy around, and success is his main motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And then what are his flaws again? Overconfident and spoiled.
Cool.
That makes perfect sense. So I mean,
he wants his show to be the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. So something along those lines is kind of what I'm thinking, but then very emotional, very dramatic.
I love him. I love him too.
So that's the other thing I think of. Then going back to like the idea of it being like a grandma fairy, because I can't get off the idea of a grandma fairy, but I'm trying to get out of the circus so that not everything is circusy. What if instead, like to be like an entertainer, she's very much like an entertainer for like children and her grandchildren and things like that. So instead of doing like circusy stuff, maybe her performing and entertaining is either like
finger puppets.
Exactly. Either something like finger puppets or like a puppet show, or maybe she does like, oh my God, what if she did like a Mr. Rogers type thing, and it was like
you can't do this to me every time. You can't.
Except Mr. Rogers wouldn't be spoiled and overconfident.
No,
but
it's definitely like if Mr. Rogers was an eccentric fairy grandma.
Yeah.
Something I feel like those like overconfident and spoiled are very, and not to like stereotype a fairy.
Sure.
I feel like those are very fairy traits.
I think so too. And maybe like the spoiled isn't so much, well, maybe it's more like just used to people doting on them. Yeah. So like they're an entertainer. It makes sense that they would be spoiled and overconfident with an entertainment background. Like it couldn't have fit together more perfectly if we tried.
She's absolutely the kind of grandma that would call you and be like, hey, I just, wanted to make sure that you didn't need a map to my house.
Yeah.
Because you haven't been here in a really long time. I just want to make sure you remembered how to get here.
Exactly. That's kind of like grandma made you cookies, but where's her gift? Like,
what did you do for me though?
Yeah.
Like, did you sit down and eat the cookies with me?
Yeah.
1,000. And like, I'm definitely getting like my grandma vibes.
Okay.
And but the grandma that's passed on.
Okay.
Because like her hair was always perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was, hello, like, very like light, high voice, but like absolutely like if I didn't go up there like at least once a week, I would get like 3 phone calls.
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna? I'm like, yes.
I can see that.
I will be there soon.
Maybe what if her performing? It's morphing in my mind. I've got ideas, but I think that's where I want to settle it.
That was our thing. We would sit on the porch when it would rain, and she would read like the Phantom Toll Booth to me. Like I remember that very, very specifically. So like books and old books.
Being the hostess with the mostest.
Absolutely.
Maybe that's what she is. Maybe her form of entertaining is just being a hostess. Okay, I'm going to put a pin in that.
Cry. We have to stop.
We're going to put a pin in that. Okay, putting a pin in it.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Time has passed.
Time has passed. Actually, a little bit of time has passed.
Yeah. We did that on Monday?
Monday. Today's Friday.
So it's been a couple days.
Yeah, we sat with it for a while. We've given it enough time to really breathe and kind of come into its own. We don't know what that is yet because we haven't been looking at it, but it's been out there breathing.
Well, and it's been like percolating in my brain for the last couple of days. And I think what we're going to do is do you want to do two? And we can kind of like form two. I don't know that they're going to be quite as detailed as Roland Steele.
No, because like Roland came into being so powerfully.
He really did.
Like tour de force.
Yeah.
He wanted to exist so badly.
But this fairy, very much like her or his shadow monk self
of the Feywild. Shifting, changing, hard to pin down.
Yep. So I think that I would like to propose the background of the circus like performer.
I feel like that's a great place to start.
And so I think I'm going to go with a female fairy.
Yeah.
And so I think that instead of her being, I don't think she's going to be the ringleader, but I think she's probably maybe her husband was the ringleader.
Okay.
And so I want her to be Mama Circus.
Yes.
And so
Mama
Circus. So she's been there since the beginning because she's been, an act from the beginning. So she probably does multiple acts.
Yeah.
As a shadow monk. I think like monk, we talked about it a little bit in some of our other side quests, that like when you're thinking contortionist, I think monk.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And like that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Horse acts in the circus. That was just like but horses are very large and she's very small.
There can be tiny horses in the Feywild.
Like blink horses, like blink dog sized horses.
Why not?
Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
Maybe she trains mastiffs and they're her. I mean, that would be too big for her, but
yeah. Okay. What? Papillon dogs.
Little papillons.
Little papillon dogs.
So
papillon blink dogs.
To be fair, it would have to be a blink dog, and then she could blink from shadow to shadow, and that could be one of their acts.
Okay.
I think that's adorable. So that's kind of the background I want. I think part of me just wants her to have a grandma name.
Okay.
So I was thinking we could go for like Cynthia sort of thing.
Okay.
And then you had a last name idea.
DePrima.
Love it. So like we could go for a Cindy and like maybe she's like Mama Circus.
Yes.
And so she's been there from the beginning. She has this, her husband is the ringleader. They've probably had children that kind of grow up in the circus sort of thing. And again, because they're traveling, she got at some point, maybe early on, she was just a monk. She was just a contortionist, but maybe at some point their circus traveled too close to the Shadowfell, or there again was like one of those like wormholes or something to the Shadowfell, or a Shadowfell tainted area that kind of leached into her. And maybe like the shadow like clung to her and she like couldn't get it off. And so then she became like a shadow monk.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Maybe it's less like a curse and less like a something that like she has to deal with, and more of like she has figured out how to weave it into her clothing.
Yes. Oh.
So like make it something that like, oh no, this is just like, I want to focus less on the shadow of it and more on how shadows play with light.
Ooh, okay, talk to me.
And how, so like basically like maybe exaggerating the shadows in some areas of her performer's costume to like lighten a different part. So like making the contrast a lot more visible. So like it's something that like is a part of her, but it's something that she has learned how to use for her own. And like it's not like I've been cursed by the Shadowfell. It's like, no, these are just my extra sparkles. This is just my light enhancement.
Oh, I love that.
I've always got great lighting.
Oh my God, I love that.
Because she can put the shadow on her back.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no, my lighting's always perfect.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And so like, I'm not going to plan out 80 plus years of her life, but we could, but I think that like leaving that part kind of vague, because we know that she's a shadow monk. She's chaotic good. She's an entertainer. Yeah. Like we can figure out the stats. Again, her stats, as a reminder, we haven't assigned them, but her numbers are 15, 10, 14, 17, 17, and 8. So, and then we can also add a +1 to either strength, dex, and charisma, or a +2 to one of those and a +1 to another one. obviously I would like to give her probably +2 to charisma.
+2 to charisma, and then maybe +1 to
dex or strength, so probably dex.
Yeah.
But we could she could have a charisma of 19 from the very get-go, or we could start it and have a 17, 17, 18. For a monk,
that's still good.
That's fantastic, because monks really need a high wisdom too. So she could have, like, we could make, if we want charisma to be the highest, we could make the charisma the 18.
Okay.
And then it could be, and obviously that doesn't have to be that way exactly, but she's charismatic. It could be, it doesn't matter. It could be dex of 18 and then charisma of 17, wisdom 17.
I'm pondering. I'm stroking my chin.
She is. And that honestly doesn't even really matter.
Yep. That's for last. We'll save that for last.
But I mean, Cynthia, I mean, she'll probably like younger days, probably a Cindy. And like her motivation is success. She wants to see this circus grow. And she is just like wants to bring joy and kind of that sense of escape and that like Feywild whimsy with her. And so flaws is she's overconfident and spoiled, clearly. I mean, I think she literally like, maybe she invents glitter with the way that like she uses the shadows to like play off the light. And so she's like in shining light, but then creates like glitter. And everyone's like, what is this? And she's like, this is my glitter. And that's kind of what she goes off of.
It's like little, like lets little specks of light through the shadow to give it like a shimmer effect.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love her.
I think that's great. And then that her ideals is that she's understanding and friendship. I mean, she's the glue that holds the circus together.
You've got to have a mom in any group.
Yeah.
You've got to have the mom in any community of people. There has to be that like maternal touchstone in the community. And like, I think maybe like the spoiled aspect, like her husband's the ringleader, and I can imagine he is very doting.
Yep.
Because like, and he's also very dramatic, and he's also got like a flair for
course. He's probably like an illusion wizard or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
so question 700. Is it a big circus or a little circus? Are there humans in this circus and like orcs?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
I think it's like,
that would make the most sense. I just didn't know if you were seeing like a very tiny circus.
No, we did talk about a tiny circus, but I imagine it's a regular circus.
Okay.
And like it probably has started off, like when it started was like a single tent that they did everything in, and now it's probably multiple tents. And like as it's grown over the, who knows, 60 plus years that they've been doing this, you know? And I think, you know, and that fits for like the Stormy vibe with like using the shadows, and like she probably like hides in the shadows to like watch the audience and watch the performers and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
And if you're not doing what you're supposed to do to bring success to this circus, that's when the Stormy comes out.
Like Mama's gonna have a talk with you afterwards. Like, I saw what you did.
Yeah.
And that toss might have felt good when you did it, but from the crowd, lackluster response.
Yeah.
So maybe make it a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah.
And not more dangerous. I don't know.
I bet that she can like hide in the shadows, hear other shadows, and like the shadows tell her things.
Yeah.
And that is a scary person, even though she's chaotic good. Even good people, even good people can have a stormy side.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I really, really like the idea of like, that's how she really keeps tab on her, like all of the circus performers is like, their shadows will tell her things.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. I absolutely love that.
Yeah. And so like you've got, and like the shadows are like, so like maybe on one side of the circus tent, like there is a circus performer and the shadow stretches into the shadow of the building, and then the entire shadow of the building, and it's able to move to her via the shadow of the building. And it's just like, hey, this guy's having a really hard time. We can make him some cookies, please.
Oh my God, and I love that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how did you know that I was having it? And she's just like, I hear things.
Mother knows.
Mother knows.
Mother always knows.
Oh my God. And then like, the color scheme of gold and red, I think is what screamed us towards circus in the first place.
Absolute and entertainer background.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I am loving this. My cat has decided to climb on the table, even though he
Lance,
knows
do I have to give you
Sure.
snuggles?
It's true. He wants snuggles.
Here we go. Oh,
Snuggles.
he says I do want snuggles. Actually, that's kind of nice.
Are you gonna give us an automatic meow?
His little toenails trying to grab the table.
Hi, sweet boy. What's on your leggy over here?
He says I just wanted to show you my leg.
Hi, sweet boy. Wow, he is not even fazed by this. Lancel Corporate Snuggles it is. Good morning, Corporal Cuddles. Oh, wow, he's not even fighting me.
He says, I want snuggles.
Well, snuggles you get then.
For once in his life, he's like, I came up here so that you would pay attention to me, actually.
Usually anytime I threaten to pick him up, he usually runs away. But now he's in my lap, and this is where he lives now.
He's a good cat.
He's a good boy.
He's a good cat.
So I think that's kind of the main thing that I wanted for Cindy DePrima.
Cindy DePrima.
And
Cynthia DePrima.
Cynthia DePrima. But that's kind of, I know, again, it's not like super detailed.
No.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I mean, her motivation is success at the circus. She gets stormy if any performer is not living up. I mean, it's like
She can still do those things. Like, I think that that's part
Sure,
of it. I think
sure.
that, like, because if she has kids and she has grandkids and they visit, and, like, that's when she is Grandma DePrima.
Yeah.
Like, Grammy DePrima.
Yeah.
Like, that's when she's like, all right, I'm busy. The circus has to handle itself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
And, like, she is spoiled, but she spoils her grandkids even more.
Yeah.
Because, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I love that.
Yeah, like, absolutely opulent birthdays for all of her, I don't know, 12 grandkids.
Yeah.
That feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't, like, I never pictured, this is why I love the random characters so much.
Mm-hmm.
One, never would have made a fairy.
No.
Two, never would have put a shadow monk in this position.
Never.
But, like, I love that.
Mm-hmm. There's a way to make it work.
I love that. I think it's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, giving the shadow talk ability, which we're just going to make a thing.
It's a thing now.
It's a thing now.
We'll come up with the rule set later, but don't ask us about it. You'll get it eventually.
I think that, well, I mean, I don't even know that there's, like, a ton of rules so much as, like, she can hear if she's in shadow,
mm-hmm.
any shadow that her shadow touches, that
Yeah.
the shadow she's in touches.
We'll
so at
communicate with
night,
her. Mm-hmm.
she
can hear
everything.
Everything.
But, like, if your shadow touches, like, the shadow that she's in, she hears it. Ooh, Lindsay's got a glint in her eye.
I do, because imagine this. So you are
Picture
sitting.
this. Okay.
Picture this. You're sitting in the crowd at the circus, and suddenly all the lights go down, and it's completely dark. Like, it's boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
and the lights all shutting off, and it's completely dark. And at that moment, she can hear everything, and she hears the oohs and the ahs of the crowd.
Yeah.
And then the spotlight comes on her husband in the middle, and, like, she can, like, listen.
Yeah.
Based on how lit the crowd is. And but, like, the image of, like, her in the back when the lights shut off.
Yeah.
And just, like she sighs because she hears the crowd react.
Yeah. And she can even, like, I feel like it's almost like mind reading.
Mm-hmm.
Because she can almost pick up, like, because the shadows are like, oh, this person's getting a little bored. And then it's like, then the light shines in some other direction and something big happens and gets their attention back. And, like, that's how she knows how to get a crowd.
And that's how she, like, makes the circus, like, not, or, like, directs it, basically.
Listen, I'm going to say this right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to find a place for her.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I'm going to find a place for her in Hecna.
Oh, no.
Don't worry. I will not
hurt
taint her. Oh my God, never.
Don't hurt her.
But I have a place for her.
Okay. She lives.
But the whole concept though of the shadow monk and like all that kind of stuff, I love it.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to use something like that, feel free. Cindy did Prima. Now, if you want to keep the last name for your character, I'll just change her last name.
No, that's all. Like DePrima is her.
Okay.
Like I just came up with that for her specifically.
Perfect.
I'm pretty sure my vampire bard
Mhm.
is going to be like. I had a D something, but I forgot what it was.
Okay.
So, oh well.
Disaville. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have for her.
She's simple.
But you know
we
what?
love her.
I just like the picture was painted so easily.
Mm-hmm.
Like Roland, we kind of had to like really come up with this backstory to make these things like weave together, and it could have done so many things.
Mm-hmm.
But hers is just, I mean, she's a deep, complex character that I think we could play in a bunch of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But like coming up with the backstory,
it's all right there.
It's right there.
Yeah. And like with Roland too, I feel like all of his pieces lined up in a way that kind of like opened the door for a lot of interpretation.
Agreed.
I feel like Darling Mama Circus was very, it's like there is like maybe 2 ways that we can make this work.
Right. Agreed.
But how would you make this work?
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on an 80-year-old fairy shadow monk entertainer? Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Please give us your ideas. Like, if you guys have, because I know like you find that one track and it's like really hard to like go anywhere else.
Yeah.
So please let us know.
What are you thinking?
And as always, guys, like and comment on this video. It really helps the algorithm. Ring that bell if you want to be notified whenever we upload another video. As of right now, our days are going to be Tuesdays and Fridays. We'll let you know if we plan on changing that. 3 p.m. Eastern is usually when we're going to be releasing those videos. So look out for them.
Mm-hmm.
But please listen along. Come watch our D&D content. Come follow our other side quests like this. We will definitely be doing more random characters because I love them.
They don't get old.
I love them.
Yeah, like on Monday you were like, do you want to do one of these? And I don't think that you had finished the sentence before. I was like, yes, please, let's do that again.
I'm ready to roll another one for us to think about.
Let's just, you know what? We're going to start the next episode now.
Great. Pausing now, and then we're going to just roll right into Are We Still Recording Another Side Quest?
See you guys in a second.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
I just like, this is one of those characters that like I want to see her fleshed out in art. I want to.
Oh my God, I know.
Like I want to see a picture of her.
I know. You know, we didn't talk about how she looks.
Shoot, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean
that's fine.
It's Grammy.
Yeah, are we still recording?
We are still recording.
Okay.
Oh,
I always have to ask.
I know.
I never know.
It's kind of at the whim of yeah.
See, the thing about it is Jordan's in control of the start and stop button. So it's always a surprise for me. And usually when I say, are we still recording? I mean it. Like
it's a genuine question.
She like holds her phone to where I can't see the screen. And I'm like, I don't know where we're at. But it's fine.
We'll see you guys soon though.
I'll see you later.
Bye.